Recording, isn't it? Welcome. Before we start, welcome. I don't like that face tracking malarkey. Thank you. I haven't heard that all day. For face tracking, I want to get that off. There you go. Thank you. That's better, isn't it? So, welcome. A message first, a very important message, please. Whatever you do, put your microphone on. That's what you got to do, haven't you? Whatever you do, put your microphone on. No, but here we... Hold on. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So whatever you do, please, to those people who I call dafkas out there, these are people who will try and convince you that black is actually white. They do the exact opposite of what you suggest they should do, right? I'm speaking to you. Whatever you do, do not like and subscribe and share. Don't do it. Well, let's see if we get a few likes and subscribes. Who knows? You never know, do you? Anyway, so where are we? It's Sunday. I've just spent about an hour on this channel, actually. I've been going through the comments. I've had over the last 12 months, about 10 of them. So if you made a comment, thank you very much. I've replied to you. I've sat down and thought about what you said. It's not as if I ignored you. I wasn't ignoring you. I read the comment when you made it, and some of the thoughts have stayed with me, and they've kind of been parked in the back of my mind as suggestions of what I could do. And today was the day when I basically found some time to act on some of them, and I've done it. So you may notice that the channel now has a new banner and a profile pic, and I must tell you about the profile pic. I swear, hand on heart, that pic is a picture that I swore I would never ever show to anybody. I just wouldn't do it. It was one of those mad moments when I kind of had long hair and I kind of pulled it all out. I made a stupid smile and took a selfie. And today, when I was looking for a picture to put on the profile pic, I came across that and I thought, no, dare I? I thought, yeah, do it. Because that's what I'm about, right? So that's my profile pic. What do you think about it? Bit Einsteinish, isn't it? I'm not drawing any parallels with Einstein. I promise you, I'm far superior to him. But the banner. Now, the banner, I was having a chat with... I must tell you about the banner. I was having a chat with Gemini and what I could do and what am I trying to convey with this being a UK online sellers, and what the nature of this channel, I feel, is about me recording and capturing my thoughts as I kind of go. And I tend to speak out loud quite a lot. And historically, the origins of this channel was that I would sometimes say something and I go, what are you saying there? I'd have to check myself and go back and analyse what it was that I just said, because it was a passing thought, one of those thoughts that comes and goes, and if you don't capture it, you lose it. So I thought the best way to capture these thoughts as they happen was to record myself. That's how it started on my phone. And I would then sit down afterwards and play it back to myself and go, okay, is that what you're saying? Because all these thoughts are coming from the unconscious level. And I verbalise them out loud and kind of, I hear them. Sometimes I don't compute. But I found that when I recorded myself and played them back, I thought, aha, you're onto something there, Mart. You've got to do something about that. And then I have a record of it. And, you know, when I had some downtime, I could sit there and flip through these videos and play them back to myself and reflect on it and make a few notes. And sometimes there would be the pearl of a brilliant idea, you know, the source of wisdom. In my view, in my little world, you know, it was. And so I kind of... I thought, you know, what you've got here, Mart, is some form of content. Just put them up on a YouTube channel, see how it goes. Of course, it doesn't land very well with some people because I've only got 161 subscribers. So, you know, you're brave people for subscribing. But so I wanted something, a banner, to reflect what I'm about or what I am. And I thought, well, it's kind of blue sky, isn't it? And I thought, that's what I need. I need a blue sky. But there's a lot of dark clouds in my blue sky, you know. There's a lot of clouds. You know, there's very, highs and lows. My emotions tend to take me there. You know, I'm a Gemini. I can't help it. I'm high one minute and low the next, and have a brilliant idea, don't act on it. I pay the price because I don't, and the ones that I do act on are the crap ones. And so I wanted something that basically captured what I felt the channel was. So I went and took a picture of the sky, and it happened to be one of those perfect days. Have a look at the banner and see what you think. But I thought, you've got to put some text there, haven't you? And I thought, what is it that I've got to put there? And I thought, well, I know. There is something which I basically say to myself every single time, whether it's good or bad. I say it. I've conditioned myself to say it. And it's a pearl, it's a bit of wisdom that I picked up from a book that was written 2,000 years ago. And it was by a guy called Gamzu. His name is Gamzu. And he used to basically say, the words in his language at the time was Gamzu Letova, right? That's what he used to say. And it meant, this too is also good. And he used to say it when bad things or good things happened to him. And this guy lost his legs. And he said, this is also good. You know what I mean? He was one of them. And I found myself saying it over and over and over again. When my eBay sales crashed, when Inkfrog exited the market, when there was a few other things that happened recently. You know, if you've been watching the video and following me, then you'll understand. When those things happen to me, I always say, Gamzu Letovim. This is also good, Mark. This is good. Only good will come out of this. And of course, when Inkfrog went, I said to my dad, this is a good thing, Dad. And he says, how's it a good thing? And I said, because there's a blessing in here somewhere along the line. Something good's going to come out of it. You mark my words. And of course, I've been on a roller coaster journey with it ever since. And by and large, it's been good. But I have to tell you, yesterday when I was here, because I've been helping my friend Andreas, my neighbour out, Andreas out, it's taken a lot of time away from me and it's slowed me down. And I've basically got the jeepers yesterday. I got a lot of fear in me. I started thinking, what's going to happen if the eBay sales don't recover? What happens if I struggle on eBay? And I was working away at the time on Shopify with an AI thing called Sidekick. And he's very good because you can have a conversation with him, identify a problem. He will give you a suggestion as to what the solution is to the problem. And if you agree with it, he'll go off and do it. So, I had a problem that I needed to solve, which was basically giving customers a discount on everything, with the exception of certain items that I've discounted heavily or plan to discount heavily. And there was a workaround, and it needed a tag applying to all my products that would enable them to receive a discount, the regular discounts that I set up on the shop, but to exclude these other ones. And the other ones, we came up with an alternative tag, which is no disc. And if I put no disc on that product, or if a product that I'm going to discount, then they won't get the discount. And I'm going to put that, I've put those into a new, well, it's not a new, it's an existing collection, which we used to call sales and offers, but I've changed it to Happy Mart and Friends, because that group is going to, that collection is going to reflect the products that I put in the new Facebook group that I've got, and that's called Happy Mart and Friends. That's the idea. So I did make a lot of progress, and of course I've done some work today on this channel, and I've got a little bit of work to do on the Taxi Mart one today. I've got to schedule some posts for the week. And I noticed that the ones I scheduled last week, for instance, 2 of them got full engagement, the other ones didn't get any at all. And what I've noticed is that these taxi drivers like to talk about their vehicles, and they like to slag off other taxi drivers. I love it. So I've got to do some post, it's a learning curve, it's a learning process. So I've got to do something on that. I've got to do something, I've got to do some listings today. But yesterday my fear was all about, what happens if my sales drop to such a level that I can't meet my commitments? I've got resources, but I don't want to drain my resources, you know. And I've got a feeling, a funny feeling, that the worst is yet to come. We've got this change going on in the Labour Party. I think Reeves is going to go. Andy Burnham's coming in. He actually has a big fire burning for the taxi industry. He wants to change it all. And indeed, those changes are already going through. There's some big legislation about to drop in Parliament. Down south, they're all now subject to VAT, but not up north. I think I touched on it the other day. From the Midlands and up north, they're all kind of considered to be employees when they're driving for Uber. So there's all sorts of legislation that's got to be fixed, but they're going to consolidate the approval of licences into regional centres. There's going to be about 70 of them. At the moment, there's about 800 odd councils that do it for themselves. And it's big changes coming, massive change, but also with that change comes opportunities. And I've been thinking that, you know what, you've got to do, Mark, you've got to prepare yourself. Just like when you had all your listings cancelled a few years ago, I went into the same kind of mode, shock mode, if you like. And that basically led to some activity. You know, I kept saying to Gamu Leto, I said, this is a good thing, Mark, come on. You know, your sales have crashed, it means you can do something else. It doesn't mean that you lose this, it means you've got to do something else in order to keep this. And this time will pass and you'll be all right. So what did I think of last time? It was doing some kind of driving job. I got some casual job working for Pertemps, and I worked on the 2020 contract, schlepping cricket bags around for the cricket teams. You know, when they did the 2020 games. I did that for about 3 weeks. That was good. And then after that, I applied for a job at National Express, and that was good. I loved that job. I mean, I really did. It fitted perfectly around this business. It was early morning and late evening, late afternoon sort of thing. And, you know, in between, I could basically get my orders done. And after I finished a shift, I could come back here and finish off. It was great. And it gave me about £1,000 a month. And it got me through. It lasted for about 6 or 7 months, though. It came to an end. And, of course, when it came to an end, my sales came back on eBay. So it was, you know, my thinking did reflect what actually happened. But this time I feel as if I've got to do something again. And at the time, last time, I also looked at taxi driving. Because that's something that I can do around this as well. You know, the two can flex. So I'll instead of actually going through the process of applying for a taxi licence via Wolverhampton Council, which is easier, because this legislation's coming up, I've got to do it through Birmingham City Council, but they take longer, it's more expensive, and they're very strict. They also say, for instance, that your vehicle can't be older than 8 years. Wolverhampton Council had 12 years. So you could rent a vehicle that was nearly 12 years old, and it would be a lot lower than an 8-year-old vehicle, if you know what I mean. So it's more expensive, but it's a more prized license to get. And so I'm going to do it. But I'm also going to use it as an opportunity to actually record myself going through the process like I was intended to do last time. So something good will come out of it. I'll either make content for that channel and that page that I've got, and oh dear, or it's all right, my mobile phone. I'll make some content for the channel, and all being well, I might be able to make a few quid. But the expenses are high as a taxi driver. It's going to cost me about £600 or £700 to get sort of going, I think. And then the weekly costs, you're talking about minimum 300, at least 300 quid. And to cover that, your first £300, you've got to cover that. So every week you're going to be in for 300 quid. You've got to get off your arse and go and drive until you've earned 300 quid just to break even. Anything after that, of course, just goes in your pocket that's before tax. However, there are some opportunities on the tax side of things, according to Gemini, but I won't worry about them until I get there. But if I can just basically maybe work 30 to 40 hours a week doing the taxing, it's going to be hard going, isn't it? And pull in £300 after expenses, then I won't necessarily spend it. It'll just go into my pocket, and it'll be there as a buffer to help me get through the worst times that I think are coming. And why do I think they're coming? Well, you may be aware, you might realise that I've got a little bit of an interest in astrology, and you may have heard me talk about it recently. Uranus is moving into Gemini, and the last time it was in Gemini was 84 years ago, and the energy of Uranus is massive change, and Gemini is all about communication and trade and all that kind of thing, right? So the last time it was in Gemini was the Second World War. So conflict, revolution, change, turmoil, and communication. Oh, why does that keep doing that? It's one of these cheapos, look. So obviously I haven't got it in properly. So let's get it in. In. Oh, get it in. Get it in, said the bishop, or the actress to the bishop. Anyway, hold on. Yeah, so why is it doing that? Blooming comedy of errors, I am, and I. So why is it doing that? I'm upside down, sort of. I'm inside out, back to front, and upside down. Hold on, let me just try and sort this out. So what was I saying? So basically, oh, I'll just leave it. Oh, there you go, it's back. So basically, the last time it was in Gemini was during the Second World War. And the communication that came out at the time was the birth of the computer. They were working on it then. The ground, not the ground, well, the groundwork for the internet. And the previous 84 years was, what is it, 84 years before that was 18. It's not enjoying that, is it? Why is it like that? Oh, because all the rubber's gone, look. That's why. All right, so let's do it another way. So basically, it was all to do with the previous 84 years was all about not the American Civil War. It was the American Civil War. And that was about revolution and conflict. And at that particular time, they introduced the telegram. You know, the ... dash. That was a form of mass communication at the time that removed power from those that had control over media, right? And 84 years before that, the same thing happened. It was not the American Civil War, it was the American War of Independence. Is that right? Yeah, it must have been. The American War of Independence. And that was also the communication system then was all about the printed press, I believe. And that was a big change as well. So what do they reckon now? Well, this month now, July, that we're coming into, is something to do with, I think it's been retrograde. It started in February, it calmed down for a little bit, and now it's going forward again, full on into Gemini. And it also happens to be the beginning of the age of Aquarius, the dawn of Aquarius. The dawn of Aquarius was the 60s, but here, right now, this month, it's happening now. And they reckon that there's going to be a revolution in Iran. That's what all the astrologers are saying. And indeed, you know, the AI that we've all experienced in recent times is all part of this revolution in communications and education. And they reckon that the kids in Iran are at odds with the elders of Iran, and they're going to rise up. And this thing with Trump, I mean, his birthday was on the 14th of June. He's a Gemini. It's all connected. It's all connected. That's all I can say. But anyway, I sense it. I sense massive change coming myself. I can feel it. I can feel the build-up. I can recognise it with sales and everything. Things are changing. Although I have to say that yesterday when I was working on my stuff, I kind of felt as if the real reason why my sales have crashed is because it relates to the mistakes I made with the postage on the most recent increase. You know, when I basically put the the postage up. I increased it by too much, and in some cases by £1, in other cases by 150, and I think that's killed my sales. There's no other explanation for it. It's not just about the algorithm. It's easy to blame the algorithm. The reality of the matter is that I've brought these problems on myself by not doing the change properly. So I've got to march through at record pace and refresh, rework all these listings again. But I have a feeling that this will be the last time I have to do it. Because as I work through these listings, I'm deleting options, consolidating listings into, 2 or 3 listings into one where appropriate. And I am basically doing the SKUs, the MPNs, the HSI codes, the SEO, the meta, the whole lot. And more importantly, I'm actually putting in the actual stock that I've got. Instead of guesstimating what I've got, putting 10, a default 10 for everything, I'm actually working out what I've got. If I've got 10 full rolls, that's what I'm putting in. If it's only 2, I'm putting in 2. In order to avoid overselling, because that's always a bit of a ball ache for me. When I oversell something, I haven't got it in stock, I have to go into reactive mode, and it's just one of those things that deflates me at the time. So I'm sometimes, to be honest with you, I'm a fool to myself, basically. But that's so I'm full of fear at the moment. And my brother basically, there's a phone call coming through which I can't take at the moment. I can't take it. But why do I kind of stop it? Always happens, these kind of things. I wish I could just basically block them. You probably can, and I don't know how to do it. But I can't answer that phone call. I want to make this video first. But in the meantime, my brother basically sent me a link today, which I've got to follow through, and that's a job at Tesco's. He's basically been working part-time at Tesco's doing the deliveries, and so I'm going to have a go at that. I'm going to put an application in. They've got a vacancy in Solihull. That might be something. That might be something better that I can do. In the meantime, my friend Andreas, my neighbour Andreas, is basically he's very upset at the moment. He's a bit depressed. He's down, and it kind of drags me down as well because I'm trying my best to help him. But yesterday, when I was going through Gemini with him, I spent about 3-4 hours with him yesterday, maybe a bit longer. I asked Gemini what will happen on the day of the actual case, the hearing. So it gave us a whole list of examples of how he should behave when he's addressing the court, the judge. It basically said that he can take somebody with him. They call him a Mike Mackenzie, probably based on some kind of precedent. But a Mike Mackenzie is somebody that can go in and sit down by him. They can't actually say anything. But they can whisper in his ear. They can make notes, and they can give him a prompt if he gets all tongue-tied and twisted, that kind of thing. So I think I'm going to go with him on the day to give him some moral support and just be there. But it to be honest with you, it's making me feel scared. I feel scared for him. And then I think of the Gamu Leto, and this is also good. Good will come out of it. And any problems that I think I've got, they're nothing in comparison to the problems he's got. And so I think to myself, Martin, shut the up. You've got no problems at all. And it's true, I ain't. You know what I mean? It's so easy to think that you've got all the problems in the world and you haven't. There's always somebody in a lot worse position than you. So, that's the way I'm thinking. I have to think like that. So that's what I shall give you an update with his permission, of course. In the meantime, I went for a walk around the reservoir this morning. I always do on a Sunday. I managed to get 2 laps in. And you see everybody cycling, running, walking and everything. And I think to myself, I wished I had more time to go and do the walking. Well, I do. You do have the time to do the walking. But I don't do it because I don't think about it. I'm compelled to come down here and get on that computer. But it's not doing my health any good. And in recent times, something that I haven't told you is that I've started to get problems with my hips and a pain in my groin. Well, sometimes I have pain in the groin and no pain in the hip. Sometimes in the hip and no pain in the groin. Although in the last 2 weeks I've had no pain at all. But I had to go and book an appointment with the doctor to talk about it. And he did a test. He had to drop my pants and all that kind of thing. And he said to me, it's probably not your hip. It's probably a kidney. It's kidney related. I thought, oh, okay. He said it might be a kidney stone. So they've taken blood tests and blood pressure. I had the well man test as well. And the result, they're waiting for the results to come through. But nevertheless, the last well man thing I had, my blood was full of cholesterol. And so I've got to basically do exercise, and I just can't bring myself to go to the gym or go for a walk and everything. And I just have, it's not I have a mental block. I don't even bloody think about it. It's because I've been behaving this way all my life. Anyway, when I was walking around the reservoir, there's a Sunday morning kind of park run. There's a group there, the Edgbaston Reservoir Runners and Wellbeing Club. So I thought, I know, go over there and get their Facebook page and join the Facebook page, and maybe throughout the week you'll see a post and it'll jog your memory, and go and join them. Even if you just sort of like do that Japanese walking, I don't know what it's called, but you run for 100 metres and walk for 100 metres just to get going, get the heart going. Anyway, I saw, thank you, I saw a guy, and I went over to him and I told him what I was thinking of doing. I said, look, I'm over 60. I said, as you can see, I've got a big belly. I said, I've got a problem with my hip and my bollocks and all that. And he said, he was just finished a run. And he said, don't worry about it, mate. He said, I'm 65. He said, and I've got a fucking plastic hip. I thought, here I am thinking I've got it bad. And it is a fella older than me running around the reservoir with a blooming bed of plastic in his hip. I felt right stupid, you know what I mean? I thought, right, that's it, I'm doing it. He says, not next weekend. He says, we're not meeting next weekend, the weekend after. And I said, no, but you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to go for a walk, a kind of a run. I'm going to do something different. Instead of walking, I'm going to go and try and do a jog. And I'm going to go and basically go for a run with him, with them. And maybe that will inspire me or motivate me to do a couple of runs during the week. And maybe I'll build up to a little jog, you know what I mean? So I'm going to try that. I've got to do something because they said I'm at risk of a heart attack. So I can't have that, can I? Anyway, in the meantime, there isn't a lot else to basically report on it. I made some notes today, but those are the three areas. And Andreas is trying to get through to me because he wants to come round here. Because I think he's getting a lot of comfort out of being with me because I'm quite positive about things with it. And he did ring me this morning to say that his wife had found something on AI to say that the investigators coming round and taking photographs of his house is against the law. And that was my initial reaction when I saw that they'd done it. I thought that's almost abusive. You know what I mean? It's like intimidation. You know what I mean? I wouldn't like it. And interviewing all your neighbours and asking them what they know about you. I don't think that's right. So anyway, she looked into that, and according to her, it's illegal. So Monday, he's meeting with a solicitor, and he's going to ask about the 2 or 3 things that he's got, and that's going to be one of them. But I'll let you know and see how things are getting on. Anyway, in the meantime, I've answered some queries, some questions that people have made. Let me know what you think about the banner and my picture. Oh, and I think is it called the community? I think there's a community section. I've asked a question, a post. It's a it's a question and 4 possible answers, a poll type question. Go and check it out. Let me know what you think. I'd love to know. And look out for my next video. Check you for later. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.